Hey, what's up? Mr. Popo here. Get your coffee ready. Let's go. So this is where we left off. We animated the text, we animated the background, we animated the circles, but we have not finished the circles. So let's do that now. So let's take a look at the circle that we're going to be working with. Because as you remember, we merged two of them and one of them is just going to fade away to show that they actually merged. So the first thing that I'm going to do, and this is something that I don't see a lot of animators do, is that not because you're using After Effects that you shouldn't do animatics. You have to do that sort of workflow so that you can understand where you're going or whether does it make sense, and so that you can control time. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So to start doing the animation, what I did is I went ahead and I placed these markers that you can see here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these represent the beats of where the ball should bounce according to the sound. So to do this, all you need to do is Control Shift and press the number that you want. So for example, if I need a 6 here, all I need to do is Control Shift 6, boom, boom, boom. It's just Shift 6. That's awkward. Okay, we don't care. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete this one, holding Control and clicking there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start animating this, and I'm gonna use the animatic style to do this. So I'm just gonna take my ball, my ball, not the real ball, but this ball right here, shape layer ball that is not hairy at any sort of way. And I'm just gonna go and bring up the position by hitting P. So I'll press P and I'll put this here. And I'm just gonna go a little bit here, maybe. Not maybe, but here. Like, what the fuck does that even mean, maybe? So I'm just gonna put something like this, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and say that, oh, this is where it comes here. Oh my god, I couldn't tell. Like, this is so creative. Alright, that works for me. And then all the way here, that's when it's gonna arrive. Let's just say around here. Perfect. Now, the problem here is that if we play, it's just gonna go like this, and then like that, and then like that. And that's just not what I promised you to do. Well, you, because I just scammed you. So go yourself right now. Don't. I still need you for a little bit, because we haven't finished yet. So the problem here is we have our keys that are linearly interpolated between two keyframes. What that means, it's just a fancy way of saying that After Effects is gonna put this motion from here between two keyframes in a linear way, meaning it's just gonna go straight. It's not gonna go gay, it's not gonna go bisexual, it's gonna go straight. And that's what it's going here. So to change this, you figured it out correctly. No, you didn't, you piece of... You need to right click on your keyframe, and then you have your keyframe interpolation. And right here, you have continuous Bezier. That's not what we want. I want a Bezier. I want something that I can control myself. I'm an independent man, woman. Now, you're gonna come to me and you'll be like, but no, look, it's not working. We don't see any handle. Well, shut up. That's exactly. I set up this thing so that you can see the problem and so that you know how to fix it if it ever happens. The problem is these are Bezier. Trust me. No, don't trust me. But trust me, these are Bezier. Here, I'm just gonna go and do Bezier. But I still don't see that shit. Why? Because you little... It's just there. I just need to hold on it. But what about here? Yes, it's there. It's just so fucking small, just like my penis. No, it's not. I'm from Africa. So all I need to do is grab this tool, for example, this one here. Convert Vertex tool, and I can just do that. Or I can just zoom in like a complete retard and just do it like that. And it just works. It's just Apple. It just works. And here's well, you see, it's like, wow, boom, shakalaka. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to play with this, and I'll come back once I finished the path. Okay, so what we have is it goes down there and then it goes there, and it just keeps on repeating. But the problem that I found is I couldn't actually fill this one really well, so we'll just have to add the last one, which is the one where it goes actually up, somewhere around here. And then what we could do, we could play with this even more. And we can just add this a bit, just like this. Okay, so boom, it goes up, and it goes there. Okay, perfect. And then from here, obviously, you're just gonna go down here. All right, so we'll focus about the bouncing down part, but first, what we need to do is we need it to go from here all the way to here. We don't want it to stop here. So how do we fix this? To do this, I'm gonna use velocity. I'm gonna use the speed curve. And to fix this, I'll literally want to do something like this. But the problem is, from this keyframe to this keyframe, it's gonna stop and it's gonna continue. Like, I wish if it was just continuous, like this speed, but if it was continuous, it doesn't stop. Like if it starts from here, because if I try to do it this way, let me show you. You see, it stops there. So I wish if it was the same speed, but it doesn't stop. And that's what we call the rove across keyframe. So you right click on your keyframe and you do the rove across keyframe. So after what it does, it literally just combined everything to a point where it just roves, it just floats on the other two keyframes space. So whatever I push this, it's not gonna matter. So we've got this, and let's try that again. Goes all the way up there, and that what we wish if it goes the same way until here. So we don't want it to stop here. So again, what I'm gonna do, right click, rove across keyframe, and then I'm gonna do this. All right, so let's see what we have. Boom, zoom. Okay. Well, the only thing that we have to do is we'll just have to fix the path. All right, so I'm just gonna fix the path. I'll be back. And this is the perfect time for sponsor of this video. Today's sponsor of this video is obviously nobody, because nobody can sponsor this stream. So you better turn off that ad block, refresh the page, like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get back to the tutorial. All right, now that we're back, you can see that what we have is everything is fixed. We have the pad that goes all the way here, sways a bit, and then comes all the way running, and then it goes there. And then what needs to happen is it needs to really go down super fast. So let's see. Sways, it goes all the way down, and it just needs to bounce. So I'm just gonna do another bounce up. I would say around here a bit, not too, because it's gonna lose a little bit of momentum when it's gonna crash. So it's gonna go, let's just say somewhere around here, and I'm just gonna fix this like that. And then when it comes here, I'll just say that it's gonna go here. All right, but we're gonna stop the composition around here. So this is where we're gonna stop the composition in our scene. Here, you see, it's gonna go up, and before it goes down, we're gonna change to another composition. So that's what's happening here. So it goes around, it comes, and it bounces down, and then we're gonna do a follow-up transition. Okay, so that's exactly what we have here. So let's just check this out. Goes, comes back, bum. And it's actually supposed to wait there. So we're just gonna follow up. Just gonna take this. Just gonna give a little bit of breathing room, because the way this has bounced down is pretty bad. And this one is obviously gonna take a lot of time. I'm just gonna put it until the end. So let's just check this out again. Pop. 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 Zzz. Yeah, and it's just gonna stop here. Pop, goes back, pop, and it comes down. All right, cool. Now what we could do is we can just take this whole composition, we go back, and then we just cut it. But before we cut it, there is something that's happening here, that it goes to the right and then it goes to the left. So how did I do that? Well, basically what I did was I just comped this whole thing. So I'm just gonna try and give you an example of how I did this whole composition. But before we do any of that, there is one thing that we need to fix, is the bounce here. So if we look at this curve, we can see that the ball goes up, but the ball doesn't come straightly down. Again, the ball, when it goes up, it takes a little bit of time and then it bounces back down. So I'm gonna take this, or I'll just select the last one, do an F9. I'm just gonna do it like this. So the ball is gonna take a little bit of time before it bounces down. You see? Like this. You see? It takes a lot of time before it goes down. Up, up, and then it goes down. All right, again. Puff. And it goes down. And that's where we change. Okay, so how are we gonna do all this? So I'm gonna go and create a new composition, but before I do that, I'm just gonna make sure that I already have one. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna look at this. So I'm just gonna look for when this, from here, I'm gonna do a position again. I'm gonna put a keyframe, and then I'm gonna wait until it goes here. I'm gonna put another keyframe, and here I'm gonna put a keyframe. Here I'm gonna put a keyframe because it's gonna go down and then it's gonna come where it started. So here I'm gonna say that it goes a little bit here, and here it's gonna go a little bit here. Here I'm gonna say that it's gonna go down, and here I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna say that it's gonna go a little bit up, and then it's gonna come back down. Okay, so let's do an F9. Goes. Wait. Okay. So again. All right, we're gonna fix this one here. So let's look. It's gonna come up. And the same thing, I'm gonna do this like so. But what I would like is if this, somewhere here. So it's like, it comes back to its normal position. So I'm just gonna take everything, bum, keyframe interpolation, make sure that it's linear so that I don't have a boomerang effect. Okay, so it looks like it fixed it. So, boom, boom, bum, zoom, okay? And this one obviously is gonna take a lot of time to be here. What is this? I think I'm just gonna do it like that. All right, cool. Now what we could do is we can play with the rotation, and we can play with the scale, just like what we did for the main comp. Yeah, I think what we could do is we could bring this into 140 here. Get an easy ease. Something like that. And I would like to have it play a little bit, not just suddenly stop and then continue. So, but it's gonna keep on scaling down. Because if I don't control the speed, let's do that again. If I don't control the speed, this is what's gonna happen. The speed is gonna stop to 0. And then it's gonna ramp up, and then it's gonna ramp down. But that's not what I want. What I want is a continuous speed that goes all the way down. It's like a rove across keyframe. So in a way, I could just even do a rove across keyframe if I want. But I can't because this is scale, yeah. Okay, pop. Up, bum. Okay. And to continue this, I'm just going to show you, for example, how this could actually be followed up. So we have this scene at number 2. So I'm just going to go and bring it. And I'm just going to put it here. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this one before scene 2 starts. So the moment, you see that? The moment this motion is about to ramp up, I cut it. And that is what we call a follow-up transition. So it's like you take it from one scene to another, but it continues the same trajectory. So, see that? And that's what you see in most Microsoft shots, Microsoft advertisements. They use this follow-up transitions a lot, and that's what Ordinary Folks uses a lot in their motion graphics videos, is follow-up transitions. Again, here, as you can see, we have a follow-up transition, which is you do a transition and then you continue it on the other side. All right, well, that was pretty much it, I think. Very much left. The only thing that I could add is, for example, how to make this look a little bit more nicer. So I'm just gonna go and do a adjustment layer. I'm gonna call this CC for color correction. One thing for sure is that everything is extremely clean, so I'm just gonna go and do an add grain. I'm gonna do an add grain here. I don't see anything because I need to go to final output, and then you can see a little bit of grain. I'm gonna go here and do a 0.2. So it's just a little bit. I could even do a 0.25. It's just a little bit. And that is perfect. Another thing that I could do, if I fancy it, I could go for a curves, and I could play with how bright this is, you know. So it's all up to you to what kind of feeling you're going for. Another effect that I could use a little bit of Posterize Time. So instead of having a 24, I could have a 12, and this is something that some animators like to do. So you have this kind of chunky kind of feeling, as you can see. So if we play this again, you're gonna have this kind of chunky feeling, and it's so beautiful. And what could actually make this even more beautiful is if I actually go make a new composition. I'm gonna call this grungy, and I'm gonna make a new solid. I'm gonna call this fractal grunge, and I could make a fractal noise here. I could try to turn down the brightness a little bit more, go to the transform, scale this a little bit, turn down this just a bit, and that what I could do is I could go to evolution, for example, here. I'll put this as a toggle hold keyframe so that it changes drastically, subtly, and I'm just gonna do something like this, and then I'm gonna go again and do something like this. So what's happening here is that I'm changing the evolution of my fractal noise drastically, so it looks like it's you see, it's drastically changing. So I'm just gonna take this, I'm gonna do something like this, and I'm just gonna do something like this, and at the end I want it to come back to where it was, and then I'm gonna close this, and so basically this is gonna be my texture. Now all I need to do is go back to the CC tutorial, go to my grungy, put it here, but then I'm gonna put this into pre-comp, And this grungy, I'm gonna go into time, enable time remapping, and I'm gonna do a expression, and that is the loop out expression. The loop out expression, what happens is that it keeps on repeating these two keyframes again and again and again and again and again and again. So that's exactly what I want to do, and that is why I made my this thing loopable. The one thing that you will see when you do this is that you have this problem at the end. Normally what After Effects does is that the last frame is unreadable, so what you do is you go one frame before you press a keyframe and then you delete the last one, and that's gonna fix it. And now what I'm gonna have is I'm gonna have something like this. What I could do is I could literally just for example screen this, and as you can see, you'll have this grungy texture here. So if I do something like this, again, I think I just need to go a little bit here, play a bit, you know, with how this actually looks like. I don't need to do it that way. What I could do is I could bring in the curves, and I can play with the just a little bit, not too. I'm just gonna cut it a bit. Okay. So it's there, but it's not. You see, it's just there, but it's barely visible. So as you can see, it's just there. So if we play just the bit that we have here, it's a little bit grungy. What you could do as well in this grunginess, let's go to a point where it's like that. Yeah, so what I could do to this grunginess, I mean, let's just solo it. I'm just gonna increase this so that you can see it. I'm just gonna go and do noise. Just gonna do a noise. I'm just gonna increase it a bit. I'm just gonna go to Gaussian blur. I'm just gonna blur. I'm just gonna put this noise, and I'm just gonna blur this. Just gonna put it back. Okay. All right, so it's not that visible anymore. Cool. Perfect. I think I really like this one. So this thing, the same thing it is, as you can see here on the composition, basically it's exactly the same circle. I just put it a little bit down, and I just copied this. I literally just copied it and put it on top and just animated going down. As you can see, it's just two keyframes. It's going from up and then it's just going down. That's it. And I animated the text there. The text, how I animated it, I used the technique that I could just show you, and you can practice it as well. Text animation. So if I go, for example, and put Mr. Popo here, so basically what I did was I went into this text, and inside animate I went for tracking, and when you animate the tracking you get this. So that's exactly what I did. So I put a keyframe, and then I can go until the last one, and I could just track it. So basically what happened is my text starts animate, and that's called tracking amount. And that's exactly what I did here. So if we can see, tracking amount, that's all. That's pretty much how I did this. When it comes to scene 3, it's just this. Literally, it's one circle, that circle scaling down, and then you have another circle just going down and another one going up, and it just goes up and it just goes up. And this circle, as you can see, I literally cut it here and I just scale it up there, and then it goes. If you guys need a tutorial for this, just let me know on the comment below. and I could do another tutorial just for this, but I think it's very straightforward that it doesn't need to be part of this tutorial. All right, thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun recreating this and sharing this with you guys. I know that this style is very new to you guys, but this is how I would like to take care of my tutorials from now on. I would like to have fun. I don't want this tutorial YouTube channel to be more of a stress to me. I want to be myself and authentic to you guys and authentic to myself. So if you like this tutorial, I'm pretty sure you'll find more other tutorials that you enjoy from my channel. And yeah, if you don't subscribe and if you don't comment, you're just gonna get possessed, and it's just gonna be suffering and deep regret from there on. So might as well just subscribe and comment and like. I don't really care about your comment, but it just helps me with the YouTube algorithm. But sometimes I like to see them, and especially if they're more of a troll comment. My name is Mr. Popo, and I'll probably see you later. It's actually very lame that people do that. It's just like